All right, so today I'm going to review this training with the coach Guy, one of the top trainers of Muay Thai coaches in Thailand. You know, a lot of people actually travel all the way to Thailand to go there and do a PT session with him and do a training with him because, he goes into the details. He's a very good coach. I recommend. I never met him in person. I've been in an environment where he was there and I saw him hitting pads with other people and holding the pads for people, and it's pretty cool. I mean, but like him, there's many other very good coaches in Thailand. So if you're going for a Muay Thai camp in Thailand, I'm pretty sure that wherever you go, you're gonna get the best of what these guys can offer. And I recommend a bunch of places. If you want some recommendation, drop me a message, and I'm happy to point you to some directions while you're going to Thailand for your Muay Thai camp. But here, let me tell you something about coaching. I've been doing this for way too many years to understand that when you're coaching, you need to treat people according to their expectations. You don't want to go too much. You don't want to be touching people. You don't want to be treating them good or bad. And I tell you, I learned that in a hard way as well as in a good way. I studied a lot about teaching methodology, and to filter the way you treat your students has to be trying your best to serve them according to their expectation. I travel all over the world. I managed to deal with students for different cultures, with different behaviors and expectation. And once I did that throughout the many years of experience, I learned you know uh, uh, to read my students and understand the best as I can in order to give them the best for their training without compromising any etiquette, without stepping too much into their reserve, without stepping too much into their personal zone and so forth. So here coach Guy, the trainer Guy, very famous guy, he's teaching this lady, right? So he, as you can see, he has a plastic foam tube in his hand. We use those for hitting pads and so forth. Coach Guy is known by really, really, really polishing your technique. When you're striking, when he's holding pads for you, he really, really polish your technique into the point that whatever hits that you're doing in the pads, you can translate that into sparring and tough defense or whatever in a way that will be effective, right? So he corrects your posture, he corrects your hip placement, he corrects the punches, he corrects, like, he goes into details. He really, really, really helps to make your striking better. So, but here, the point that I want to make about reviewing this video is that he is always very careful. He's a very experienced coach as well, and he knows that the way he treats a fighter, he can go a little rash on fighters. I've seen videos that he really hits the guys and you know and make them get tough throughout training, which is great. But here he's training this lady. She has an Asian look. I mean, not here to say what or her ethnicity, where she comes from, but I'm here to point some things that I find it's really cool that every coach should have when you're dealing with a lady. Let's always assume that women, it's on a mat. She's in a male dominant environment already, and it's a lot going on when you're training. That's a beautiful place. You see a tree here in the back going through the roof, the ceiling of the gym. That's fantastic. Thailand rocks. So yeah, when you're doing this, he demonstrate here his care with the lady, right? He's not going to be all touchy. He's not, but still he's going to manage to get his information across. Watch this. So correcting her stepping as she jab with his hand, right? Correcting the other hand being high, and then he holds her wrist. But now here's the thing, right? So you saw that he touched her hip with the tube. If you see, he could have reached with his hands, right? But he find it, which I agree, he find it inappropriate to touch the woman's hip with his hands, right? I mean, it's just her hip, right? You don't want to get too close to, the intimacy of anybody, but especially to a lady. There's people watching. You can hear in the background people hitting pads. There's a lot going on. Last thing that you want is the lady's husband sitting there and seeing another guy touching her on unexpected, places. So he uses the tube though to correct her in a way that keeps some sort of barrier, right? He keeps some sort of distance with that tube, and but he corrects her, right? So you see when he touches her, she spins the hip. He goes again, like lift your heels, turn your hip. He goes back, recoil the punches, and then he goes again, look again, kick now, boom, and now he holds the feet, right? So He touched her leg, like kick with this leg in here, right? And then she kicks, and now he holds the feet. We all have to agree that holding the feet as he's doing, it's less bad by touching someone's hip or thighs or something like that, right? So even though now he's getting a little bit touchy with the lady, but he still managed to keep the professionalism, and he still managed to keep the respect and a good attitude towards his training. Watch that. Now he go correct the thighs, lift the hand, chin down, squeezes the thighs, and then he lets go. And then I'll block mine. He kick, and then he catches again. He even cares to put. You see that the guy is amazing. When I see this, you have to look into the matrix and really learn with the master, right? He really cares everything. Before she kicks, you can notice that he puts the two just below his armpit. So when she kicks, I heard that before. Actually, I've been in Thailand for too long. I know. So he don't want her feet to be touching really her his armpit, his sweat, I mean, it was all involved. Next thing you know, the lady's living with the smells of another man on her feet. Anyways, but he cares about that too. He goes deep into the details. What's that? He carry on. She's losing the balance. He still corrects the hand high when she kicks, go up on a toe, and then again, lean back, and then he kicks. Awesome. He catches again. So the second time when she kicks, he didn't put the tube to hold the armpit because now he knows that she kicks on place, right? She knows, she has a good control kick. She kicks on a place. She won't really kick him on the armpit and be rubbing her leg in under his arm, right? So he knows, and now he's keeping forward, going forward. So he kicks for her to block. He did a very slow kick. She didn't know she would block. He also, it's part of the training. Probably it's his first session that he do with her. So he's kind of like getting to know the student, which I also advise you when you're training somebody. The first couple rounds, you mimic a few things. You really get your students in front of you. Try to really feel your students first and get to know what the students know. And then you, from there, you pick up, you see where you're going to work with your students and fix. So he kicked it slow. He did a slow kick, knowing asking her to block so he could see the block. He wouldn't go too hard. They both don't have shin pads. He wouldn't go too hard because he didn't want the kick to go through between the elbows and the shin, about the shield or protection when you're checking or blocking a kick. So he did it really slow, very careful. And then the second, he noticed that it wasn't good, so he demonstrated, like lift the knee until your knee touches your elbow, so you create that shield defense. And then he demonstrated the next time he's gonna do it again. Now he knows that she's gonna do it. Boom. Okay, here he's holding. I've seen Coach Guy doing with guys. He really grabs the leg and he pushes the hip and he gets very aggressive. Here he quickly held her leg, let it go, and then he carefully placed his hand over the heels, the shin, which is a less invasive place to hold. And with the tube, once again, he fixed the hip position. He really wants her to drive the hip in when she's kneeling, right? So he could use the hand, but he didn't, right? He's being very careful in his attitudes here. Push the hip, lean back, chin down, so you don't protect up on your heels. Good. Now he's holding, and then he let go again. Boom. Then kick. You see one more time. He places the tube under his arm. Lean back. Now he knows she's gonna block. Knee, kick. Awesome. You can see already she's blocking. Look, he teaching on. You didn't lift the knee properly. Let's raise the knee high as possible, because if the kick goes above midsection but not as high as head kick, you don't want to be blocking with your arm, right? Because it's a hard kick. It can hurt. It can hurt your arm, even though if you keep your guard up, it still hurts when you kick too hard. The shin, it's a stronger bone than your arm. Trust me, I learned that in a hard way too. I had a fight real quick that my opponent kicked me too much on my arm, and I blocked too much. And next day, my arm was black. It was literally black. It wasn't blue, no purple. It was black. So he's correcting that point as well to make sure she's blocking right. There you go. Now knee very high, blocking. She wants to do the block and stretch the jab hand up. There you go. Boom. And then kick. Awesome. Kick, catch. And then to do a bit spinning, he's also known. If you follow Coach Guy, you see that he makes his sessions very fun all the time. He's always careful on making you having a very good experience. And those Thai guys, they most of all of them, I haven't met none. They have that. They make sure that you go in there, you're training hard, you're learning martial arts, and you're learning the best of the Muay Thai that you can get. But you're having fun, right? And he has many ways to make you have fun on your sessions. He drops you, and that's a very nice photo here in the back that he has with some 1FC belts, probably the guys that he trained before. Like, let's go. Ah, he, you see, he wants her to catch. His English is a basic English. You can understand, but he was like, catch. He was going to kick, and she kicked him on elbow. But no, you notice that he had a tube to protect his own elbow, so when she kicks, she doesn't kick his elbow and hurt her feet. Very careful coach, very experienced coach. And then he corrects, like step back and catch. She turn it around and boom, kick it around. Very Muay Thai type of technique. Hands up, jab, boom. Now the elbow. So now he knows. You see that he threw away the tube because now he's gonna go into a part of the session where the lady's gonna be doing elbows, right? So he knows that elbows, he can put his hand. It's not as evasive as dealing with kicks that involves thighs and hip placements and knees and so forth. Now he lets go and he's gonna start the session with the elbow strikes. Talking about the hip, turning the hip, more hip, right? He wants her to turn really the hip, and then he was careful. He noticed one more time she was striking and she wasn't pivoting the hip enough, and he wants the striking with the whole body and the hip twice all together. So he brings power through the elbow strike. Therefore, some touches and places make reminds where the muscle is, and your brain like locates where it needs to engage. Therefore, he went there, he picked up the tube again, and one more time he addresses the hip placement with the tube, never with his hands, never to make the lady feel uncomfortable. Here, correct, the thighs, this is good. Chain down, here, right on the forehead, good pressure. Push, squeeze your hips, good. Now another one, bam, turn, lift your heels, hands up. Even when he hit it, he didn't hit her bump or, her lower part. He hit right on top of her bump, right below the back and the bump. So he hits her hip, so he doesn't looks unprofessional, right? Put some pressure in there. Push, push, push. All right, so this is the video coming back to the beginning. I hope you like. If you're a coach, if you're a Muay Thai coach, and keep studying, keep watching around, keep going training. Um, Enroll here, sign, subscribe, keep the like button, send that video to your friend that also teaches Muay Thai and do PT sessions and so forth. This is really good. I mean, this is a very good example on how you should behave when you're training everyone, right? But especially when you're dealing with ladies, uh, keep in mind that whatever you are, be professional, be respectful with your student, treat the students as you would like to be treated as well, and be mindful that the person there. Sometimes is not a professional fighter. The person that just want to learn some self-defense, want to get in shape, sees the Muay Thai or any other martial arts as a tool to get to healthy life, to a healthy life status. And the last thing that you want is to get to a place where coaches they flirt with the student and they use the martial arts as a pathway to get close to your students. Be professional, be respectful. Always mind, especially if you're dealing with a lady, that it could be somebody that's married, somebody that has high standards on don't touch me, keep your distance. Somebody might be even more relaxed sometimes, but still you wanna keep your professionalism, your actions at a high standard all times. You see this gym, for example, is wide open. I've trained in Muay Thai gyms in Thailand. There are cars passing right in front. It could be here. My gym here has glasses in front, so think that there is always somebody watching. You know, you're there teaching somebody, and next thing you know, somebody's passing in front of your gym, looking over the glasses and sees you in an uncomfortable way or on an uncomfortable behavior with your students that will make you look bad, will make all the coaches look bad, and it's bad for the martial arts. So, like, subscribe, do the whole thing, send to your friend that, doing the whole thing. And if you don't like it, post in your comments and let's discuss about that. And thank you for watching until here. And I see you into the next video.